My Hero Academia, Chapter 247, titled Speak, What Are Your Goals? We actually open up with Todoroki's big sister lamenting something. Fuyumi is almost looks like she's praying towards something. Meanwhile, at the Endeavor Agency, we have Endeavor looking down at our trio of intrepid young heroes, asking to get to know at least two of them, namely Deku and Bakugo. He wishes to assess what they feel their strengths and weaknesses are so that he might actually be able to see what they're trying to gain out of this internship. For Izuku, it's actually to gain better control over his power. While Endeavor does know the way that his power would injure him originally when he attacked, something new has come up with for Deku. He explains it as a secondary manifestation of his power, so he shows off the ability of the Black Whip, explaining that he can't seem to actually control it and it takes a lot of focus, and if he outputs too much, the power goes berserk. And as Deku actually starts to explain it, wanting to actually turn this power into an asset rather than a hindrance, he goes on this massive tirade. And at first it seems like Burning and everyone else is just like, okay, yeah, he's just babbling off too much, he's overanalyzing himself, it's too much. But much to most people's surprise, Endeavor actually gets the gist of all of it. That Deku just wants to fine-tune this ability so that he can use it on the fly. And it's just like, wow, Endeavor, you're actually pretty competent. And again, it's just like, this shouldn't come as a surprise to people that he's so competent in this job. He's been pursuing it for years on end, much to the detriment of his family. But at the same time, it's just it's hard to look past his boisterous, overly loud and obnoxious nature from before and actually see the good qualities that would have actually made him the number 2 hero for a while and now the number 1. Endeavor thinks to himself that Izuku's raw power actually kind of makes him almost rival All Might. So he actually considers the power that Deku has as a power that's kind of too big for him to actually be able to control. And that's Endeavor in and of himself. That was the whole reasoning behind why he, as he once put it, created Todoroki. This power that was just too great. And if he uses it too much, he will burn himself out, literally. And so, that was the whole basis behind Todoroki. The combination of ice and heat would negate each other, making it so that Todoroki could almost have unlimited ability with both of his powers. So he considers it just like, oh, Izuku, you're like one of us, like those with the double-edged ability. Then he goes on to Bakugo asking what he feels, and Bakugo says he's the opposite of Deku, that he's here to learn what he isn't capable of doing, which Burning kind of takes a bit of the piss out of it for it. But, Bakugo goes a little bit more in depth with it, in the fact that he already knows just how capable he is with his abilities. But, he says, and this is verbatim, just because he's strong as in a fight doesn't mean he's strong as a person. He wants to see what he lacks so that he might one day overcome the number 1 hero. So everything kind of moves forward from there. Endeavor is ready to get things underway. However, Todoroki wants to speak his piece as well. And it's not exactly what Endeavor was hoping, that maybe Todoroki had come, well, Shoto I should say, they're all Todorokis, that Shoto had come to learn the Flash Fire. But, Todoroki wants to, I'm still saying it, Shoto wants to say his piece, that while his dad drilled in how to use the flash fire for the longest time, he wants to say that, look, I, for the longest time, didn't want to use my other half because it was a representation of you. But because of spending time with other people, people that weren't you, quite frankly, I was actually able to open my eyes. And honestly, because of that, I actually kind of played right into your hand. But that's because I still want to become a hero. The type of hero I used to see on television with my mom. I came here because I want to use you. That's it. There's nothing more than that. I want to become a person worthy of becoming a hero, like those that I admired. Not like you. Never like you. You're just something convenient for me. So don't act like my father. And this is a very bitter moment because, say what you will, think what you will. Endeavor's been trying his best to push forward. He's been trying his best in order to actually move on with his life, but honestly, there's just been all these moments. He thinks back to the moments with Natsu, and how Natsu just said he wouldn't forgive him, and honestly, that's about right. That's about how it should be to a certain degree. He thought that maybe Shoto had opened up to him at least a little bit, but he accepts this. He doesn't fight against it. He's not overly trying, honestly. He's just putting his best foot forward here and there and trying to have moments where it might actually count. But he's not forcing it upon Shoto. He's trying to get Shoto to come to maybe see things from Endeavor's point of view on his own time. But he accepts that Shoto isn't ready to forgive him, and he might never be ready to forgive him. And Endeavor, being a better person, understands this and accepts this. He doesn't push his son away because of it. He doesn't try to force his son in. He accepts it because that's all he can really do in this moment. No one is ever under any kind of obligation to forgive anyone else. But at the same time, understand when somebody's trying. Understand when they're actually trying to put themselves out there. You don't have to accept, just understand. That's about it. So they move on to actual field training. They go out into the city, and Endeavor lays down the rules of being a hero. Rescuing, aiding in evacuation, and fighting villains. Most of the stuff they've learned up until now, the fundamentals of being a hero. But for Endeavor, whereas most agencies would try to excel in one of these categories, the basics, he tries to excel at all three of these. Always being aware of all of his surroundings, always rushing to scenes faster than anyone could even dare to think, minimizing casualties, warding off civilians with a wave of heat, trying to get them out far away as possible. He's always thinking about these things at all times. And I love this, because you're getting into Endeavor's mindset, how he handles things, what his best tactics have become. Endeavor was a jerk, but he was still a great hero. And so he wants them to actually kind of eat, sleep, and breathe those principles, because that's how they'll actually grow and expand from their school settings. This is where they take all the experiences that they've gained and actually push that forward into the real world and build themselves up into great heroes. And he tells them that their task for the entirety of the winter period is to actually manage to subdue a villain faster than even the number one hero. I love that. I love this moment in training because while I did love seeing All Might, I love All Might. I really care for All Might. Because of his illness, there was only so much he was ever able to do or actually teach certain characters. But with Endeavor, it's solid teaching, it's examples, it's lesson plans. He sees what they want to do and he's just like, okay, I'll try to build you up from there. He's acting as an actual teacher, and it's surreal to see, but it's also pretty awesome to see because I'm loving every moment of this. You know, he's come so far as a character that seeing him as this actual great hero is refreshing to a certain degree. Like, I don't personally forgive him for what he did to Todoroki, to Shoto, to his family as a whole. But at the same time, I do value him as a hero who could potentially train better heroes later down the line. You know, none of his children have to forgive him. That should never really be something that's forced upon them. At no point should anyone ever actually say, can't you just forgive him? No, he did too much to be forgiven. But should they choose to be forgiven, it shouldn't be seen as wrong that they do, because he is actually being a better person. I understand on some people's levels that, you know, going back to an abuser is a negative thing. Yes, it is a very negative thing. That is a constant. People going back to abusers because they feel that that is the only way. They hear the words, oh, I've changed, I've gotten better, I'll never do it again, this, that, and the other. And that is a bad thing. Yes. But if over time other people can see that change. That's the thing. Sometimes you have to look to other people to kind of feel that within yourself, that notion to actually forgive someone for their transgressions in the past. You know, look to others, look to people you trust, look to friends, and, you know, to actually help you make an informed decision about things. That if you should try to repair that relationship on some level, there you go. But if you don't want to put that on the table, you should never feel any obligation to do so. There should never come a time where you feel obligated to forgive someone. Never. At most, if they give you an apology, you can say thank you and leave it at that. Never see them again. Never acknowledge them again. Never speak to them again. That's within your right. But if you feel it in your heart of hearts to forgive, don't feel pressured not to. Don't feel dirty for choosing to go in a better direction. There are plenty of parents out there who make bad mistakes and bad decisions because they are human and they are susceptible to making bad decisions just as any other person. And we as humans, we have the capacity to, you know, forgive, open ourselves to love and moving forward with that person. Or choosing that you think it's in your best interest to just never associate with that person again. You have the power to make that choice. It's always within your right to have that choice. And never forget that choice is yours, no matter what anyone says. You always have it within you to move forward and become something better. No matter how you decide to go forward, I want you to speak and tell me, what are your goals for the future? If you like this chapter and the review in general, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another My Hero Academia chapter review. Slow goings, but oh well. I'm through with fighting it. I'll catch up if I manage to catch up. But until the next video, I just want you to remember, please, always look within yourself to find the answers you seek. Never be pressured into anything else, anything more, anything less. Look within you, because you already know the answer. You just gotta think about it a little bit. Subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want more My Hero Academia chapter reviews. And until the next video, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and it's high time I went to bed. As long as my thoughts don't keep me up as well. Till next time.